And we are live. Hello. Welcome. Glad y'all could be here. All 0 of you. But for now, we good?
Yeah.
Alright. For now, this is us. Hello, welcome to the Odd Unicorn Podcast. My name is Silas. And with me is Aaron Belke.
How's it going?
Glad to have you on. Been trying to have you on for a while, actually.
I know.
But you just keep skipping on me.
Well, with being in college 3 hours away, it's a little hard.
Yeah, exactly. So after all that scheduling working out all the schedules, finally got them up, and after this we're probably gonna be regretting it. How late we'll stay up?
Oh, definitely.
Because we're gonna have some fun after this.
In case you didn't know, I'm the bad influence in his life. I
Yes.
keep him up late.
I'm the one trying to live adult decently, and he's just ruining everything. So
College student, what do you expect?
yeah, no, that makes sense. Anyway.
Alright.
We're supposed to be talking about serious things here. Oh man. So our topic for today is I want to pull up chat quick just so that someone is talking to me. I can respond.
Why do we want to see people?
Yeah, no, you're supposed to want to.
Hey, that's called a joke.
Oh, okay. Sounds like fun. So there we go. Boom. Our topic today is cliques. What is a clique? Why do people form cliques, and when is it okay to be in a clique, and when is it not okay? But first, how was your week?
It was pretty good. I've been on Thanksgiving break. Got home Friday around 4:30.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, that's not bad. I worked. Tomorrow I'm going to work. Yeah.
Never would have guessed.
Who knew?
Who would have thunk?
Oh man.
This is gonna be a long podcast.
This is gonna be fun. But yeah, my week was interesting. Today it was utter and complete chaos at my factory. As I already told you, it's just a lot of work. Who knew? But yeah. I suppose
a lot of work.
We're not very conversational. We're just making dumb jokes. We should probably get to the topic. Oh man.
This is gonna be a long podcast.
This is gonna be fun.
Oh.
So, talking about cliques.
Yeah.
First of all, we need to define it, because not every single person in a group is a clique.
No, and actually, I came prepared. I looked up the definition. You know me, I'm very much a definitions guy.
Yes.
So the definition, this was just from Google search.
Yep.
The dictionary that comes up. It's the definition of a clique is a small group of people with shared interests or other features in common, who spend time together and do not readily allow others to join them.
See, that's... The last part is the big thing.
I would say the last part is the difference between a clique and a friend group.
Yes.
A friend group is normally more willing to let people in, meet new people.
Yeah.
A clique is a lot more closed off.
Yep. Yeah, I like to... Yeah, it's like... A friends group is like a community. A clique is like a mafia.
Yes. Well, I wouldn't go that far.
I mean... You gotta get with the program or you get out,
Yeah, I guess. Although in Mafia, how the Mafia does that is they kill them. But,
That's true, but with a clique, they just kill your social life.
Fair point. Fair point.
Anyway, both of us have had some experience with cliques, but I honestly think you have more so because, like, you're in public school, and just in general, you're around a lot more teens, because honestly, it's especially a problem with teens.
Well, and Oshkosh is a lot bigger than Arron and Coleman.
That's absolutely true. Coleman has 800 people and counting down.
Oshkosh has 66,000 and counting.
Yeah.
So
yeah, definitely a disparity. So yeah. What about your own experience? What are some times, just kind of outlining some times you've been in or excluded from cliques?
Well, I do have to say, like, you mentioned public school, which I did.
Yep.
There's a lot of a stigma around public school. It's actually a lot different than a lot of, especially people at homeschool.
Yep.
School. It's a lot different than people actually think.
Mm-hmm.
It's very hard to describe because obviously everyone has different experiences.
Yep.
But the big thing is that I've actually seen a lot more cliques since I've been going to a Bible college than I did at public school.
Yeah. See if 5 years ago me would have been like, what in the world? That's crazy. But now that I've lived a little and talked to people that have had other experiences than just a sheltered Christian,
Yes.
Yeah, I've seen that.
But like I think of some people I go to school with. It's not. I wouldn't say it's like this dictionary definition of a clique, but it is more cliquey in the way that, like, it's a popular group on campus.
Mm-hmm.
Everyone wants to get into that group, but they have, like, just their friends they like to hang out with.
Yeah.
I love them all. They're great, but they don't branch out very often.
Yeah. And that's the thing. And in my experience, I've seen some cliques that are just formed by default, like small church, and every single person in that church is friends with each other.
Yeah.
So then when they go to camp, they just don't talk to anyone. And that, I'm like, okay, well, that makes sense. They're antisocial. They're not adjusted. But then there's other times where it's like, so they'll talk to them from this church, but not them from the same church,
Yeah.
Because for me, the biggest place I've experienced the idea of cliques is some at churches, but mostly at camp.
Yeah. I feel like there was a lot at my home church growing up.
I think there still is to some extent, because I know, some of the younger teenagers, and wow, it's still...
Yeah. And, like, I don't keep up with the teenagers at Wildwood very much anymore. But definitely, even back in my day as a teenager at Wildwood, there was a lot of cliques.
Yeah. And it's never helpful.
No. And having been in a public school, it was often harder to make friends at church because of those cliques.
Yep.
It was... I'm not going to take up the last 3 topics of friends and stuff, but it was like... I often found I was alienated at church because I went to a public school, and there was a lot of people I wasn't allowed to hang out with their kids.
Yeah.
Because I was in a public school.
Yeah, I know about this.
Yeah. We've talked about this.
There's been stuff that's gone on with just different people that, where I was on the opposite end, where there's people like Arron or others that I wasn't allowed to hang out with because I was the homeschooler. And some homeschoolers, which annoys me to death, are proud of it.
Yeah.
Here's the thing. I personally like homeschooling, and I really think it's helpful.
Yeah.
But being proud of it? Wow. Yeah, no. You shouldn't be proud of having an easier life than everyone else.
Well, and it depends on the school, the homeschool.
Oh, absolutely.
Like, everything depends on really your personality.
Oh, yeah.
Like, me personally, I hated public school.
Yeah.
I don't like that I went there. Even my parents were even like, if you guys were in the school now, things probably would have been different.
Yeah.
But, like, there are some people that view it as like a ministry opportunity. Oh, I can witness to my classmates. But I just viewed it as like, oh, I have to do this. It almost made things worse for me in a way.
Yeah.
I know about a lot of stuff that I wish I didn't, or I wouldn't have known if I didn't go to public school.
Yeah. Yeah. Exactly.
But at the same time, it was a good experience being out in the world.
Yeah, because then
not being super sheltered.
Because, well, I agree. Because I had to learn. I didn't really get to know what the world was like until 17, 18 years old when I started getting jobs where it was more, people in the world, because and so it's a lot more difficult to know, hey, what do I do with it?
Yeah. Mm.
How do I even relate to these people to share the gospel?
I don't know if you remember, like a few years ago, I was like big into politics, especially on social media. And that was because being a Christian, being a conservative in a public school, you really had to take a stand.
Yeah.
Because let's be honest, the public school system is full of a liberal agenda.
Yep.
Liberals pushing that agenda.
Yeah.
And if you didn't have a solid stance or why you think the way you think, why you believe what you believe, you would get destroyed.
Yeah.
Every time. So you had to have that solid stance.
Exactly. That's absolutely true. Because, and a lot of it is like that. A lot of media, just all over the place, is just filled with a lot of liberal. And it's true that if you're in a place like that you need to know what you believe, and so, but I assume you figured it out a lot faster than if you would have never been challenged on it.
Yeah, in a way, yeah.
So.
I mean, yeah, but back to what I was saying. Though,
yeah, absolutely.
Like, it depends on your personality, though, really. Like there are some people. How do you feel? How did you feel about homeschool?
So, when I was younger, I think it was better for me, for sure. Yeah. As I got older, though, honestly, there is some things about homeschooling that's really difficult. Like, I'm very sociable, so living out in the country with no one to talk to, and we're in a even smaller church than we are now, and so I had no friends. That was difficult.
Yeah.
Also, like, a lot less opportunities. Yeah. Like, there was, at Florence, there was, like, this Fab Lab where they had laser cutters and 3D printers and, like, CNC machine, like, all this stuff. And it was like, oh my goodness. And you can just use it for free.
Oh, nice.
If you're a public schooler.
Oh,
gotcha. Otherwise, you could get a tour, which that's the only reason I know about it. But
yeah.
So that's something that I have noticed is there's less opportunity. And that's the biggest downfall of homeschooling. And that's But I'm perfectly okay with the decision my parents made, and I think it was the right decision. And when I get older, I know at least elementary and middle school, homeschooling is the best. Yeah. Maybe Christian school when they get into high school. I've thought about it.
And that depends on the parents too.
Oh yeah.
Like there are some friends that they were homeschooled for a while, and because of it, they got way behind, just because they were.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna name, but they were farm kids.
Yep.
And so because of it, like they had. Their mom would count farm chores as part of school.
Yeah.
And so then they got their last couple of years of school, they went to school at Wildwood.
Oh.
And they were one of them was 3 years older than me.
Yeah.
And graduated the year before I did. Another one was a year older than me and graduated the same year I did.
Yeah.
So it was like they got way behind in schooling, and again because of that. And so that was partially the parents' fault too.
Yeah.
It was just it depends on like this is situational.
And I think they have a responsibility to, train their kids right and such, but of course that's getting off topic. because I don't think either of us are qualified to talk about parenting.
No,
True,
not at
truly.
all.
But so all that to say, public school or homeschool, Christian school, private school, there's cliques everywhere.
Yeah.
And they're destructive. Honestly, they are. And I want you've probably though me and you aren't usually in the clique, we're more kind of like against it because we're more floaters.
Or in the way we're a part of every
single clique except for I think there's like one or two.
I think we need to explain this too.
Yeah.
There's a running. It's kind of a joke, running gag, but it's at the same time we have the same personality.
We do.
The joke is that we're the same person.
Yes.
He's the short version of me,
and he's the fat version of me.
Yes. So if we talk a lot about the way we are, it's because we are
not schizophrenic. But he is. Sorry. I do that sometimes. It's a little echoey. Why would it be echoey? It's not supposed to do that. All right, sorry for the technical difficulties. We good? We good. Awesome. I messed up a setting. One button messed up the whole thing. Anyway, so let's actually. It gives us a good time, a good place to regroup though, because we were getting way
back
off
on topic. Yeah.
This is not the homeschool versus public school, Biden versus Donald Trump.
Whoa.
We're not doing this.
We're going
right
there? Okay, no.
Let's do this. I'll be Biden.
I mean, you stutter like it.
I don't what were we talking about?
Perfect.
I'm a natural. I should be the next president.
Anyway, we digress.
Cliques. So, how can they be hurtful? Because we know what they are. They're a group of exclusive friends that is not keen on letting people in. But how can they be hurtful?
Yes. Well, I mean, as Christians, we are a body of believers.
Yep.
And so being exclusive and not letting people into your group.
Yep.
It could be hurtful.
Easily.
Obviously, as I said, we're body believers, so we're supposed to be inclusive of everybody.
Yeah. So if you start excluding someone, there could be someone who needed a friend, needed someone to help them along, and you're not there to help them.
And that is the difference between the cliques I saw in public school versus the cliques I'm seeing in at a Bible college.
Okay.
Because the cliques at a Bible college they will reach out to people more. The people in that group, they are they are friendly with everybody.
Yeah.
But when it comes to getting really close and hanging out a lot with people, it's just that one group.
Yeah.
Whereas cliques in public schools are different.
Yeah.
In ways they will straight up exclude people because for dumb reasons even too.
Yeah.
You're not as good looking as us. We're gonna exclude you. You like different things than we do. You're excluded.
It's dumb.
It's really dumb.
It's honestly, but it happens. Teenagers are just in general dumb. So having a society, which public schooling is a society run by teenagers. So that's
yeah.
So that's probably the issue there.
Yeah, partially. Yeah, I mean it is a lot of, especially the younger students do look up to the high schoolers.
Yeah.
In public school, I mean, I have so many thoughts in my mind right now. I'm trying to bring it down to one point at a time. So if I kind of stare off for a minute, I'm collecting my thoughts. Yeah, so it's the teenagers in public school, a lot of high schools are often looked up to by the younger kids.
Yeah.
Because who else are they going to look to?
Yeah.
Maybe older siblings. Oftentimes in public school, there's a lot of kids that have single parent homes.
Yeah.
Or that just don't have the good influences in life to look up to. So they look up to these people at school, the teenagers, the cool people, and that are in high school. It's like.
But then that leads to like wanting to be like them. But then once you're them, what do you want to be like? You know, it's like.
What's the end goal? It
just kind of.
Which brings me to my next point.
Absolutely.
This is the only other thing I had written down before. Okay. So it's like, it reminds me of like public school relationships, even like friendships, cliques.
Yeah.
It's like sometimes the cliques, they cling to each other because they have nothing else or no one else.
Yeah.
Whereas like as Christians, we have Christ.
Yeah.
And we're striving to be like Christ. But in a public school, they don't have Christ. Their hope isn't in Jesus. Their
Absolutely.
Hope isn't in God. And so it's like
What else do they have?
As we were saying, what else do they have? What do they have to look up to?
Yeah, I agree with that. That's one big thing, and this is just when talking to and getting to know people that don't know the Lord in general. You have to know you don't. I hate it when people when they judge lost people for being lost instead of trying to just show them Christ, because they don't have hope. What logical reason do they have to be like you if they have no hope and no reason to do it? Yeah. You know, and so that's a big thing, is that you can't dismiss your own, Christian cliques because public school cliques are worse.
Yeah.
And that's just called making excuses.
Yeah.
So I would say probably, have you seen it in other people be hurtful? Because we not necessarily have ever get hurt by cliques per se, because we're just kind of bouncing around. But we're friends with people who do.
Mm-hmm. This isn't necessarily a clique, but it is more of a cliquey thing. As you know, I was a counselor up at Camp Northland all summer. And it's like the way sometimes we'd have, because we had how they do it different than WIBF does it.
Okay, yeah.
They do it like they split the counselors into teams. There's the red team. There was the red team and the blue team. Okay. I was on the red team all summer.
Awesome.
We won, by the way. But not that matters. But
not that it matters. Just if you wanted to know.
So week 1 of campers.
Okay, yeah.
There was me and the red team, the red team guy leader.
Okay.
We both had those campers. By that I mean like they were kind of a clique. They were the cool kids, They had an influence, a greater influence on the rest of the kids, and what they did reflected on the rest of the team.
Yep.
They for the first half of the week, they would seldom participate in cheers. They were hard to get motivated to participate, to do anything. And so then it was like because the team leader and I both had a couple campers like this, we kind of worked together and pushed them. One thing that really helped was like just telling them, hey, people look up to you. You want to have fun this week? Let's get into it. Sorry, I still have a camp counselor brain. It'll forever be there. But it's like just you wanna have fun this week. You wanna have even more fun this week. Participate, get involved. Everyone looks up to you. If you do it, everyone else is gonna start doing it. And by the end of the week, we had everyone out full participation. It was great.
Wow.
But it was it was a clique, and oftentimes cliques like that. There are different kinds of cliques too.
Absolutely.
There are cliques like that people look up to and follow the example of almost. But then there are cliques that are like at the bottom of the chain.
Yeah,
and
those almost are. There's two types of, I guess, bottom of the chain cliques. One where they're just sticking together because no one else wants to be by them, and then the other one where they're just nasty.
Yeah.
No one wants to be by them except for some people that are very gullible.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. But oftentimes in a way, those cliques work their way up too.
That's true. The second type really do.
Yeah, the second type. That's what I'm saying. Yeah.
The first type, usually people start leaving that clique because they actually grow and mature.
Yes.
And that's just
Yeah, and it's like we're getting a little off topic, but it's like there's always those people that are like, oh, like that are in that one that clicks, and they're like, oh, I'm just weird, and they embrace all of being weird. Like, we're weird.
Yeah.
I'm not saying that's wrong. We're
No,
weird.
it's not wrong to be an absolute wacko.
But at the same time, embracing that, making that your whole personality, and not growing from it. Not like you can grow out of that phase and still be a little weird, still be quirky.
But you know when to be weird and when not to be weird.
Exactly. That's a good thing.
Like Mr. Ives. Mr. Ives can
example.
be an absolute weirdo. He says some things that like, wait, what? He's just he's hilarious sometimes.
Yeah.
The things he's said and done is just like, okay. But then he also knows when to be serious. He knows when to take, especially when it comes to things of the Lord and when it comes to his job, he knows when to take things seriously.
Yeah.
So, knowing when to have fun and just be weird and relax and have a good time, that's great.
And this is something that my perspective actually changed a lot on since I got to college. Because I've always been more outgoing.
Yes.
I'm at school, I'm in the loud dorm. I'm in the society that's the loud society. Because I fit in. It's like I've embraced that. And it's not a bad thing. A lot of people, especially like this year, my society's got calmed way down, gotten a lot better. Not as out of control, but like we're more quiet, more subtle. But it's we still got the energy. But it's like I forgot what I was saying.
As far as embracing,
yeah,
because you're more of a loud person.
I know. I had a thought, but I completely lost my train of thought there. It might come back later.
But yeah.
We'll see.
But the biggest thing about cliques is that, first of all, I think there was one kind of clique that both of us got in. You know what I'm talking about. And both of us got in it. Both of us got out of it. And it's something that has happened for a long time. And it's like, and so with that clique, it's weird because you don't at first realize it's a clique. Because it's one of those cliques where everyone looks up to it.
Yeah.
Where everyone follows their lead.
Yeah.
And what they do, everyone else does.
I'm not sure I'm following you here, but
I don't know. I don't know how many.
We can talk later.
Yeah, we can
We'll
talk
about
later. We've both been in. There's been people that have made us leave that, and take a more standoffish approach.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
And the thing about that is that both of us actually became part of it at one point, which is interesting because normally we are not part of cliques.
Yeah.
Just because we like bouncing around and being by people.
Well, sorry, I completely cut you off.
Yeah, no.
But there is something almost addicting about being part of a clique, though, too.
Especially one where everyone is more like, we're great.
And everyone looks a clique, especially that everyone looks up, or you have in your mind, you have a thing, you feel like everyone looks up to them.
Yeah.
It's like being included in them, with them is like.
You're like part of a high society.
You're like, wow, they actually know who I am. They recognize me.
Yup.
Like, this is great. Like, this is cool. Like, I've always looked up to them, and now they're like, I'm part of it.
Yup.
Like, I'm one of them. It's like, there's something, like, almost addicting about that feeling, too. And it's like...
It is.
That's often why people stay in these cliques and continue running, like, these cliques. It's like, because of that.
Yeah. But, as both of us realized, if you don't play by the rules, you get kicked out of the club.
Yes. Yes.
And that's the worst thing about cliques. See, everything up to this point, it's like, oh, okay, so I guess I could see how that's bad. But this specific point is what makes cliques so dangerous. Yes. Is if you don't play by the rules, you get kicked out of the club.
Well, and that's part of the reason, like, why everyone says peer pressure is so it's such a big thing.
Yeah.
Because, like, you want to be included in this group. They're your friends. You love them. You want to be part of that group.
Absolutely.
And so it's like they'll slowly pressure you into doing more and more, getting you more and more comfortable with things that you wouldn't normally be comfortable with.
Yeah.
And it could be damaging.
But you don't want to say no
Exactly.
because everyone else is doing it. So it's assumed that those are the rules.
But we can't just hate on cliques either, because at the same time it could go the other way.
Absolutely.
It could be a clique, a good, solid clique with good Christian people who are like pushing you to do more for Christ.
And I agree with that because I've had it both ways, but I think there's a difference.
Yes. But in the end, really a good, solid Christian group shouldn't be a clique. They should be inclusive of everybody.
I agree.
But
That's the thing. Is a good, solid Christian group sometimes appears to be a clique, but usually it's only because there's certain people that just don't want to join them because they don't want to be living for the Lord, and they don't want to be. But like the Ruth and Andrew's game night, you were only there for one of them, but since then it's actually grown. We've had a couple more people come, and we allow, they're like, oh yeah, you can bring your friend, you can bring, and it's been really great because a bunch of different people from a bunch of different churches just coming and hanging out. It's been, I've thoroughly enjoyed it, and they're going to be having more, and so it's going to be great.
Well, and I think of we have at Wildwood every Monday night. There's a group of guys that get together and play basketball.
Okay, yeah.
I did it like before I went to college. I was there like almost every week.
Yeah.
And then now that when I come back, I try to go whenever I can. We have a guy in our church who got saved because of that basketball group.
Wow.
He was invited by a friend come to the basketball group. Or I don't remember how he got started coming. He started coming to the basketball group, and then slowly, because Pastor Longzine plays it almost every.
Yeah.
Almost every week, Pastor Longzine, people like that play.
Yeah.
And so then like they would invite him to come to church, and finally he started coming to church, and he got saved, got baptized.
That's awesome.
It was great, and it was like, I feel kind of bad because there's no like, it wasn't that meant to be like an outreach thing. Because we don't do a message, we don't do like a devotional or anything.
But
it's just a group of guys getting together and playing basketball.
But they see a change in you. That's one thing I've noticed. And you've worked factory, same as me.
Yeah.
Though a lot of times it's a lot of rough guys.
Oh, yeah.
And so you see all sorts of characters. They don't care what you say you believe, but they do know what you actually do because they watch.
Oh yeah.
Because I actually a guy at my work got saved. He got saved just a few 3 months ago, something like that.
Oh yeah.
The guy that made fun of me the most for everything about Christian called me a bunch of names. He would cuss on purpose more when he was around me. Just to try to get, and he said so many times, I'm gonna get you to swear by the end of the day. And he hated church. He had a thing against it. But then when I kept talking to him and I didn't give up, I realized he started talking to me. He had like terrible hurt in his life. People that have just let him down, betrayed him. He had horrible family, and just his life had just gone downhill, and so he didn't want to believe in a God because he just didn't think it would help. But then I kept talking to him and explaining the gospel and what it was, saying, this isn't some cure-all, and this isn't just a list of rules. And I was actually able to explain the gospel. He came to church, and he came to church again, and then he said he downloaded the Bible app on his phone, which I was like, when he said that, I was like, what? That's crazy. Then a week later, he's like, yeah, oh, by the way, I read the entire book of John. The power was out in his house.
Oh, wow.
Completely. And he's like a super techie guy, so he had nothing to do. And he has no signal where he lives.
Oh.
So all he had was the Bible app.
Wow.
So he read the entire book of John in one day, and he said it like the fact that like they crucified him after he did nothing wrong, because this guy like hardly knew the life of Christ at all. And so he's like I almost that made me mad. I was like,
Yeah.
like he's actually understanding, and then one day he's like, yeah. So yesterday I prayed and I got saved. I was like, oh,
Amazing.
what? And so
Wow.
now he's been coming like every other Wednesday.
Yeah.
He doesn't come on Sundays because he has something going on. I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
I'm still working on him. He's still growing, but
It's
insane what you do when you actually listen and try to understand people
insane.
instead of
Yeah.
judging them. And that was all just glory
it's
to God.
weird because like as a camp back to camp counselor thing.
Oh, absolutely.
As a camp counselor, you're looked up to as the spiritual example.
Yeah.
It's almost easier to be. It's very much way easier to be an example, to be spiritually sound, spiritually minded in that setting,
Yep.
because it's almost forced upon you.
It really is.
Being in a secular setting almost forces you to be even more spiritual, though. I think of like Joshua Brenzel.
Okay, yeah.
He worked at Oshkosh store like a couple years before I did. And he had coworkers that like even they still worked there when I was there. It was like he would they knew he was a Christian. They knew he was a pastor's son.
Yeah.
And they like he had coworkers offer him like a significant amount of money to even just say one swear word, and he refused.
What?
Every single time. And it was like he left an impact.
Yeah.
They haven't really like gone to church or been saved, but it's like they left an impact in their life. It was another seed planted, and it was like it was.
Yeah, because that's the thing is, well, and I learned from being at Northwoods that you either have to be all the way in or all the way out. You're halfway, you'll get eaten alive, because you're a hypocrite. So you're either like them or you're completely different. And so I was like, you know what? I got to buckle up and just go all out for the Lord. And hey, it paid off.
Yeah.
So
That's amazing. That's a great, amazing story.
So that's the best way to use friends groups.
Yeah.
Like that basketball on Monday night. Because, like I said, it wasn't necessarily like you said, it wasn't necessarily an outreach, but it actually it got someone there and they saw their life.
Yeah.
And then they were able to give them the gospel.
Like I think about like you would get a group of secular guys together.
Oh yeah.
There's gonna be slight cheating. There's gonna be like, oh, you didn't call out that foul. Oh, didn't happen then. But it's like there's been multiple times where like, oh, like they called out when they fouled somebody in the Monday night basketball group. It's like, and like even just the difference in the way they play.
Yeah, and the fact that they
like yeah, it's competitive, but it's not like.
It's not the end of the world.
Everyone's still gonna be friends at the end of the day.
Yes, and that's the same thing with quiz. We're doing quiz, and I've seen that so much. It's like, okay, when we're on the seats, you're my enemy, but as soon as I stand up and get off the seats, there's no qualms.
Which I think of like at my school, societies are can turn into cliques if you let them. There's one society, their whole thing is they don't do anything.
Oh.
Nobody really likes them all that much.
Yeah.
Because they embrace that whole personality and push it on to everyone else. And it's like, oh, there's a lot of great guys in there, don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
But it's like some of them are like kind of a clique. But then I think of my society and the Golden Eagle Society. I'm in the Conquerors, in the Golden Eagles. They are, like, if I wasn't in the Conquerors, I would have joined the Golden Eagles probably.
Can you give me a quick 30-minute pitch of what a society is?
Okay.
Because I'm lost.
You know, like sororities, fraternities in a secular college.
No.
Okay. Yeah. Some of the viewers might.
Yeah.
It's like a group that like how societies work is we have competitions against other societies.
Oh, I see.
We do sports against other societies. We have like Crazy Chapel where we play games against other societies.
So it's kind of like
we compete for Society of the Year, and it's each society kind of has a personality. Mine for the longest time was known as the Loud and the Proud. We were loud, had a lot of good fun cheers, a lot of stuff, but it was like then there was the Golden Eagles, who were always known for like doing all the ministry stuff and getting like
I see.
pushing ministry.
So it's like college inner college teams.
Yeah, in a way.
Okay. That makes a lot of sense.
Anyway, but back to what I was
Continue.
saying. Back to what I was saying. Like, there are some societies that we can play them in sports, and it's like we walk away mad or upset with each other.
Yeah.
But then there's the Golden Eagles. Some of my best friends on campus are in the Golden Eagles. We've had multiple combined chapels with them because we have every Friday we have different chapels, but most of the Friday chapels are society chapels.
Okay.
Last year we had one with the Golden Eagles, and that was like my favorite chapel the whole year.
Yeah.
This year we had one just last week. Actually, was our combined chapel with the Eagles.
Nice.
And it's like a lot of other societies can't do that because they just don't get along with the other societies all that well. We've always had a solid relationship with the Golden Eagles, and obviously I can only speak for this year and last year, but
of course.
It's like I remember we played dodgeball, society dodgeball.
Okay.
Against the Golden Eagles. It was us against the Golden Eagles. They destroyed us. Me and one of the other conquerors walked back with a couple of Golden Eagles, talking and chatting the whole way back.
Oh yeah.
It was great. We have a great solid.
Yeah. See, I love the
same
thing with Quiz is like right now. So Pioneer used to dominate. We used to be really good. Grace was amazing, and then Nick and Jacob left, and then it was us.
Yes.
And then now
Wildwood did for a while, for like
true.
a year or two.
They were good.
When we had two teams.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But then some of our people left, and some new churches joined, and there's this one church just keeps smoking us.
Really?
Northside.
Huh.
Northside is just smoking us. Yeah. It's just the Luz, and they are.
Okay.
But I tell you what,
okay. That makes sense. That makes sense.
But at the end, like, we shake hands, we talk, and we're just like the best friend. Me and Gabe get along great.
Yeah.
And I think I've seen that as one of the big differences between a good Christian group and a bad Christian or secular clique.
Yeah. Well, and in a way, all of WIBF is kind of a clique.
That's true.
Like,
but I would say probably different than a clique because it's a called out assembly is what Christians are.
Yeah, but like having worked on summer staff at Northland, they love WIBF. They say it's like their favorite group all summer.
Really?
We always clean up after ourselves.
That's true.
And do extra. They're like Pastor Grohl's there all the time. Helping, and even Pastor Navis.
Yeah.
They're always out there helping, working on stuff.
Yeah.
But it's like, it could be like in a way a clique, but a good example.
Yeah, I agree, and that's what a group should be. That's the difference between a clique and a group.
Yeah.
A group is working together to try to to get further.
Striving toward a goal.
Striving towards a goal. Yes. Striving towards improving, towards growth in your life and in the lives of others. Whereas a clique, we are here for us.
Yeah.
And that can't happen.
Yeah.
So WIBF was, I agree that I really love the camp and I love the people there because they have one common goal. They are from all around the state and other states. They have one common goal, which is to encourage teens for the Lord. And they do that, I think, very well.
Yes.
And so that's the big difference is it is totally fine to have a friends group. And it is totally fine to just, hey, these are my people that these are the people I trust the most.
Yeah.
These are the people that I get along with the most. Mm-hmm. But the two biggest things is you need to be able to be okay with coming alongside other people because there's other people that will come that won't have any friends groups. That's how I was. I didn't come to camp until 16. Okay. By that time, friends groups had already been established.
Mm-hmm.
So I had to be the loud one going to other people. 95% of my conversations first year of camp, I started.
Yeah.
Because no one,
And for me, it was like I went. You can start going to camp when you're 8.
Yep.
I started when I was 10.
Okay, yeah.
For the first year or two, I just kind of followed my sister around. I didn't really know. I didn't really have many friends. It helped that we were placed in cabins with other churches. It made friends with those. Like that was Jared. That's how I became friends with Jared.
Oh, really?
We were put in their cabin. I think it was like the second year or third year I was there.
Yeah.
We had to share cabin with them a few times actually. So
we were in cabin with the girls this last year.
Okay.
Which actually I really hadn't gotten to know the girls before that, but.
Yeah. And having been somebody who's been at camp with WWF and Teen Mania, all this stuff for a long time, people just know you.
Oh yeah. Eventually people just know you. Especially people like us who are very loud and like to talk to everyone and anyone.
Yeah.
People get to know us pretty quick.
Yeah. Yes. But it's like there's completely forgot what I was gonna say. I'm also extremely tired, but
yeah, both of us.
Time for a commercial break.
Time for a commercial
We've
break.
got maple syrup and flapjack.
What?
Yeah, bad. Okay.
So, I think we've said enough about what it is and how it can be harmful. So, how do we stop it? And what I think we kind of covered it, but how do we stop it? And how do we, for the most part, try to make sure we are in good groups that are wanting to be inclusive and wanting to move forward?
Well, overall, it's going to be impossible to stop cliques in general.
Absolutely.
But as far as guarding yourself from being in a clique or becoming a clique, just be inclusive.
Yeah.
Like you and I we're naturally great at that. We're people. We'll go talk to anybody about anything.
Yeah.
And it's like often having that mindset helps.
Yeah.
Because you're like we were in that position at one time where we were like we didn't know anybody.
And we had no friends. We
kept to ourselves. We had no real
And
friends.
both
so
of
it was
us.
like just being like.
It's like, whoa, there's people?
Realizing
they exist?
Realizing that we need to reach out to those people. We reach out to those people.
That's my biggest thing is I want to talk to people and I will be friends with people because there was a time where I did not have friends and I hated it.
But at the same time, there are some people that are content with being that way.
Yeah.
And so it's just knowing reading signals, basically. Like, I think of a big prime example at school in the DC. That's the dining commons, where the dining hall was. In the dining hall at school, if you see somebody who's normally, like, very much a people person sitting by himself at one of the big tables, go up and sit by him.
Absolutely.
Don't like to be alone. But then there's like smaller tables in the back corner. If somebody's sitting back there, they're either doing homework or they're something's on a phone call or something, or they just like to be alone. They want to be alone at that time. You don't go sit by them because they have a reason for like.
So it's not about trying to always make sure everyone's
included
in everything. It's just about being available.
Exactly.
Being available. Hey.
Being willing to let them in.
Yes, being willing to let them in.
Yes.
And the last thing that I will say is, I don't know if it was the same for you, but for me, the only clique that I fell into was because I was too worried about attention and not enough about growth and moving forward. Mm-hmm. So that's the last thing I will say is if your focus is on attention and getting people's attention and reaction and getting their admiration, you will fall into a clique. Absolutely. No matter how good your intentions are.
Yeah.
Because you want that attention, and there will be people in especially some of the higher cliques that once you start becoming popular because you're talking to people, they want you in their clique. And so that would be my biggest thing is don't do stuff for attention because it will end up, you will be on the losing end. Absolutely on the losing end.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right. So
pretty much summed it up. So.
That does sum it up. So with that being said, I have one last segment on my
yes.
podcast. You know about this because you actually you listened to it. And my last segment is what is making you happy this week?
Well, I mean, for one, I get to see TJ tomorrow.
Oh yes, you're
no,
gonna have to say hi for me.
Duh. But other than that, like, obviously I'm home for Thanksgiving break right now. I got to stop by and see my oldest sister and her kids today, or for a little bit this afternoon before we left home. It's cool just to catch up.
Yeah.
See her, talk to her. So.
Yeah, that's awesome. For me, what's making me happy, it has to be something that happened today and is happening tomorrow. Two things. Very, very specific things is that we had a great lunch. We had a catered lunch.
I heard about this.
Very good. And then we're actually getting out at noon tomorrow. So that's gonna be awfully nice. And what did we do Saturday? I feel like I did something Saturday. Nothing. Oh, Saturday I did nothing. That was so nice.
Sometimes that's what I did Monday. Like, I went to the store with my mom. My dad had a couple things he needed help with in the afternoon, and then I went and played basketball. Like, I did nothing. It was not productive all day.
It was having a lazy day, a day for you to just, like, recharge physically is really nice. It's not showing chat up. Joy, what's this? Can you read the chat for us? Hey, it's TJ. TJ's watching. What's up, man?
What up?
Glad to see you here. Hopefully you watched the whole thing and didn't just skip to the end to be first comment.
I mean, that's what I would have done. So.
I mean, true. But yeah, so so yeah, TJ making us happy. You're making us happy, bro. That's so.
Well, you're making me happy cheesy. Anyway. So.
Yes.
Can't wait for a game of Catan tomorrow.
Yeah, it's a tradition. We were just talking about that. So, with that being said, we'll end it there. Thank you guys so much for watching. A little bit of technical difficulties. I'm gonna splice these two together and make one whole video for you guys. I know. I'm really good at that.
Fancy. No.
I don't know. So with that,
what do you use for editing?
What do I use for editing?
I'm supposed to wait till after this.
DaVinci Resolve.
Okay, interesting.
Very, very good. I'll have to talk to you more about it later.
Yeah. Anyway.
So with that being said, thank you guys. Next week, I'm gonna have Mike Marshall on.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Nice.
Yes.
Okay.
And then we're actually gonna have a bonus episode, like I told you last week. December 2nd, gonna have Jonathan Lemon on, and then I'm actually taking a break for the month of December.
Nice.
So, thank you for coming on.
Yeah, it was
a lot of fun.
I enjoyed it.
It was a lot of fun.
I'll have to do this again.
Absolutely gonna have to do it again. And farewell.